What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today we've got a great deck, as in my opinion it's one of the top 2 best decks currently in Marvel Snap. Looking across the top ranks in the meta, Loki is probably the overall best as far as consistency, but number 2 is going to be awarded to High Evo Lockdown. And then an honorable mention to what probably a lot of players would give the you award to Galactus Alioth. Now today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know on how to just slap the meta, kill Loki decks, and play Control Lockdown. We're going to talk about the win conditions, what you need to do on a turn-by-turn basis, and the cards that I think are a must include, and then other flex options just in case you don't have some of these cards in your collection. Now, our objective with today's deck is rather complex, so listen closely. You're going to aim to shut one lane down, and then you're going to secure the other with one of your 3 win conditions. That's pretty much it. I'm going to be honest. I think it's one of the easiest decks right now to navigate once you learn the ins and outs. But let's go ahead and teach you all the details so that you learn how to perfect it. Now let's move forward and take a look at our deck here, the flex deck with different options, but this is going to be our core build. We've got the 1-cost options in Sunspot and Nebula, and their primary role is to help you Professor X or storm a lane with easy power that you don't have to commit to. That tied in with obviously floating your energy to Sunspot when you want to go ahead and activate your other cards that want the energy skipped as well is going to be advantageous for your overall strategy. Next up is Jeff, and of course he's always going to make things a little bit more easy, right? You can throw in an extra bit of power into a Professor X lane, into a Storm lane. The deck's going to be a lot better if you have Jeff, and hopefully by now, after the last Spotlight, you had the chance to nab him up. If not, you could replace him for a couple options we'll get to in a moment, but he definitely helps the deck be more consistent. In the turn-by-turn, I'm going to talk about why Wave is so good in this deck, followed by a number of our 6-cost drops. And of course, Dr. Doom and Hulk should be in the deck as well. This will be the core build that you can build off of, but when it comes to flex options, we have a few categories of the cards that you can plug and play into the deck. First of all, we have our tech cards. Obviously, think Luke Cage, Shadow King, Shang-Chi, and Cosmo. All of these are going to depend on the decks that you go against in your pocket meta or whatever the meta is at that current moment. Luke Cage is going to protect your cards like Sunspot and Nebula from other Shadow Kings. Shadow King is a nice little card that you can play to get a big advantage on a lane that isn't already locked down. And then, of course, Shang-Chi if you want to kill something with a Shuri deck with more reliability. Right now, I prefer to go with the Cosmo route as it helps protect your 1-cost cards from the Shadow King, but also it's the perfect tech against Galactus that is everywhere right now in Marvel Snap. Now, outside of tech cards, other high evolutionary cards are always good to plug and play, with probably the best option as a flex if you're missing one of the cards from today, being Misty Knight. It's tough cutting her from the deck. She can win you a lot of games, and a simple floated point extra to Jeff is massive in your overall win strategy, or just helping out the flooded lane a little bit more, because you'll be skipping a lot of turns. In fact, some people include her instead of something like Nebula, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Now, the Thing, Scorpion, and Abomination are kind of all tied together, so if you don't have the Alioth package, this would be the route that I would aim for, or maybe you're, missing a few of the key pieces like Jeff as well. I don't think this is played enough, and the Thing can put out some massive negative power, making Abomination practically free, and you could play him and Dr. Doom, or him and Hulk, and him into Professor X. There's a lot of ways to utilize Abomination. Lastly, we have our other lockdown assisting cards. Obviously, Alioth is the #1 option right now to run Purple Cloud Lockdown. It's simply a win easy card. You lock down a lane, you play Alioth in the other. You're going to see it today. Very easy stuff. If you don't have Alioth, you can also go with a card like Juggernaut. That's very versatile. You can play him in the Storm location, or also if you Professor X one of the other locations, play Juggernaut with confidence as you know where their cards are going to end up. And it can also help counter Alioth if you move first. Daredevil is naturally very solid if you don't have Jeff. Daredevil is one that I had in my original build. And if you like a bit more dependability on turn 5, you can go that route. And then finally, something like Claw just helps out with the overall mission of what this deck does. But you're going to have to get down your lockdown locations a bit more and be more confident in the overall storming strategy. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the turn order. Which cards should you be playing when to get the most out of the deck? And of course, you want to be skipping some energy to boost up your Hulk, and that helps in mirror matches, Misty Knight, and Cyclops. Nebula is going to be my #1 choice to play if you have her and Sunspot. It forces your opponent to play in that lane the next turn, giving you more control on where to lock down in future turns. However, Sunspot is a great alternate play that you can just get down now and start feeding him up with the future turns that you start skipping. Now, as an alternate play, and this may be better, is if you do run Misty Knight and you have Jeff in the hand already. I love playing Misty Knight down on 1, Jeff down on 2, and then you can make up some ground later on, and you're boosting up that Jeff with a guaranteed Misty Knight. Very solid play if you happen to have that. Now, turn 2, I also would elect probably not to play Jeff unless you've got that Misty Knight. In that case, you want to start building that up. But other than that, you still mostly want to stick to Nebula or Sunspot or a full float. Again, we're going to keep this energy up and get things going and rocking and rolling for our other cards that want it, like the Hulk. Let's go ahead and fast forward to turn 3, guys, and there's a couple of different things that you can do here. Now, storming on a location where you played Nebula or Sunspot is probably your best move because you can go ahead and make sure you get that win of the flooding location. The early turn win here is going to make it a lot easier to get priority and win the later turns. However, if you maybe don't have a follow-up card for Storm, you can go ahead and float to Sunspot, maybe play Jeff out there and continue to float a little bit of energy. But if you have something like Cyclops down and you can go ahead and play him on that Storm, you're going to want to play Storm down. Now, Storm can also go on like a super flow location. The goal is to try to win that flooding location, but don't overcommit. Usually, though, Storm and Cyclops, and you can move the Jeff, or all the work on your Nebula, Sunspot, and playing Storm there is enough to win you that location. And most of the time, if you can win that, you're going to be great in the later turns. Now, turn 4, just don't use all of your energy. Don't play High Evo unless you absolutely need or have to, and you're going to set yourself up for turn 5. Sometimes you can wave on this turn, but typically I like to wave on turn 5, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. Now, turn 4, the other cards you can play, you can do your tech options. You can Storm if you didn't already, but all this is to set up for turn 5. Now, if you have Professor X, locking down a secure win that's going to ensure you the priority is going to be obviously your number one option and what you're going to try to accomplish. If you can't do that, this is where I think Wave is a phenomenal card to have into this deck. It's not just so you can play a Wave Doom and counter the decks out there. It's great to counter, some Loki decks, Sarah, Kitty Pryde, those style of decks. This is fantastic to just shut down. However, what this allows you to do is play one of your powerful win condition cards on turn 6, not for all of your energy, and then you can activate that Cyclops and Sunspot, and sometimes it gets close when you're going to win that lockdown lane, like your Storm lane from earlier, and this is a huge way to clutch that, and you don't use all of your energy. If you can play Wave Down and Sunspot, you're not using all of your 5 energy, that can be pretty good. But other than that, try to win it with your Professor X, and then it's all about the priority. Now, if you have Alioth, congratulations, turn 6. If you have priority, you're going to win the game. Very easy card to win with. This is where the strategy of Purple Cloud Lockdown comes into play. You play down Alioth, and you kill whatever they have in the one lane that you need to win. This is about as straightforward as a win condition as you can get in Marvel Snap with the Lockdown deck, which is why I think he's a perfect addition to the overall archetype. However, sometimes it's going to be best to play maybe the Hulk that you've been building up in power. Usually, I think that this deck has struggled because you don't always draw all the cards you need. But now with Alioth, you have him or Hulk that you can play down. And finally, you can play, not Hawkeye, Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is your last win condition. Maybe you didn't win the lockdown lane. Maybe you played late there. Or you need just a little bit of extra power to go across all 3 lanes. Maybe you played Wave and they can't do anything else and you can just play Dr. Doom. This is a great way to get wide wins against the deck that you need to. So you've got a big, tall answer, you have just a complete tech card answer, and then you have spreading wide, which is why this deck works so great. If you have Professor X, Dr. Doom usually isn't always the best answer, but sometimes it's the only answer that you can do. Other times it might be best to just play something like Cyclops and float everything to the Sunspot and have everything activate. It will depend on your matches, but for the most part, those are going to be the most common scenarios. And honestly, that's about it. You're taking a very simple strategy of locking down a lane and playing a win condition, and you're learning all the fine kind of details on how to play the deck and how it matches up against other decks. Alioth makes it a hell of a lot better. If you don't have that, though, again, there's all those flexible options. Hell, play My Wife Arrow after Wave, also very good in just forcing their hand and controlling the game. And so hopefully that teaches you guys everything you need to know. Now we're going to go ahead and show you it piloted against some other decks out there in Gold Conquest. All right, we got Ralph Old. 90s was the best decade. I do agree, man. Although gaming was best in the early 2000s, I think. Like the classics, when games would blow your mind, the tech boom. Sunspot Jeff as an opener, I would say pretty damn good. In this instance, right, you actually don't want to play Jeff, in my opinion. You might as well build up the Hulk now. Give him some bonus power, and then you can also get your Sunspot cooking. There's no need to play the Jeff early there, right? So pick up on the little things. Shuri's Lab, really, really good location. For probably most decks other than mine, but we can lock it down early. If he's playing Kitty Pryde, we could be in trouble, but... All right, he goes Storm.
My hand.
Interesting. And we have our own Storm. Wow. Okay, so do we go... Should we Storm our middle here and win with the Sunspot, move the Jeff, and we don't let him use Shuri's Lab? Let him have that and or win? I kind of like that option the best. We get rid of Shuri's Lab either way from this guy. We have a +6 Jeff to take the advantage. If we're playing a mirror, he's just going to play Cyclops right side. If it's like a Surfer, he's playing Juggernaut.
My hand.
Sunspot, Misty Knight. We're playing a mirror. I'm actually okay with this. We can win with Doctor Doom. We can win with a few different plays. Playing Cosmo here and then just winning with the Hulk is what I think I would like to do. We'll let him snap. That's fine. Because we can move Jeff if he matches it. I don't think he should snap here. We can move Jeff if he matches it and or just play the Hulk. He snapped and played High Evo. What a bold man, bold call. And I wish I could play that. I can't. We'll play the Nebula, although it's kind of pointless to play the Nebula now, right? And it's pointless to build up the Sunspot. I think we continue to stack power here as much as we possibly can. We don't need to add much more in the middle. And then, yeah, we had the Cosmo here. That's the other great thing. Alioth is great. But then when you can't Alioth, just throwing down this Hulk is going to win it for us, right? Regardless what he plays. Ours is a little bit bigger. And just by that one extra skip turn, and funny enough, the decision I made with the start, actually we would have won though, by the way, with the Sunspot in the middle. But the decision we made, not playing the Jeff and playing the Sunspot, ended us actually winning that against a mirror match. So Ralph Old, good on him, and GG, we'll give him a fist bump. We'll see if he stays in it though. All right, Grand Central, first location, we have Nebula, Sunspot. In this instance, it doesn't really matter, although I do like the Nebula. It puts a little bit of pressure there. Okay, well, wishing I did the Sunspot now. No, let's go ahead and... I think what we'll do is we'll play the Sunspot down. Gain from our Nebula. Get our Sunspot. Stop his Nebula. And then potentially full float here. Yeah, why not? I think that was a decent play. I think that might have been the right call, because now we can match at least some of that power. I think it was like a net 1 power call. And he plays Cyclops left side. We have 2 locations playing down. That's insane. And I believe we're going to go ahead and probably storm this now. Although I don't hate Cyclops as well. Like, we could just play Cyclops there and then maybe Pro X a lane. Let's do that. Okay. Misty Knight. It's actually not the easiest call to be had. I don't mind this too. We just seal that off and win it. Although we would need Alioth or Hulk next turn. We don't have either. Is this Pro X? It's Cosmo.
Wind, aid my hand.
Okay, left side. Let's hope it's Doctor Doom. High Evo. Okay, well.
Wind, Aid my
Not
hand.
exactly the card I wanted, and or I don't love the play line I just did there, but I guess it works. We've got Dr. Doom that we can play to match his points there. I think his Misty Knight's going to get the best of him. If we were super try hard, we could just leave this. I don't hate like that or whatever. Yeah, I would snap too, but I mean, we're playing, that's going to be the same amount of points, so it's all the same. I mean, we'll just play Dr. Doom here, although I think this is gonna hurt us. He's probably gonna play Hulk. Okay, he plays left side. Plays the Goliath. Ouch. That hurts badly. So we are truly, by the way, playing like a straight up mirror match, which is fun. And all the power to Ralpha here for sticking in after an 8-cube slap across the face. Alrighty. Baxter building. Let's get the Sunspot down right now. I would imagine this is going to get Sunspot or stormed anyway. Terrible, but also not that bad, I guess. We just need to win the Pro X lane, and then we Goliath. This is going to be really tough to win now. I don't like it. I don't like that one bit. Oh, we got like a 1-cost discount and sacrificed one of our win conditions. Doesn't feel all that good. Although, we can just straight up try to win this lane. I mean, I think this is just going to be Cyclops. Sunspot Misty Knight. Okay, so we know he's going to win that. We can just do this right here. Kind of like it. And then we can Goliath. Well, we'll see here. Well, if he Pro X's, it's a bad day. All right, he's Cyclops. So we get the free dubs on that. We Goliath now, and then we can play another card. Although, if we just full float. Nah, this is the call right here. This, then Goliath, yeah?
Snap.
Nice. Alrighty. That was close. That Misty Knight, man. Misty Knight has it out for me. All right, guys. So we're going to be on to our next battle. The mirror matches are kind of tough. You just have to read your deck better, right? And you know, get the Hulk or the Goliath. If you don't have Goliath, the mirror matches could be kind of rough. And maybe you're going to have to slot in a leech into the deck, and that is going to protect you from the Goliath. That's probably the route that I would go. But either way, bada bing, bada boom. Let's go ahead and head into battle number 2. We got Nerdy here with the Ryan Johnson Scarlet Witch. I love to see it. Space Throne. That's going to be fun if we're playing a Galactus deck. And we'll try to Pro X that potentially early. I like the Jeff there. Pretty good start for a location and our starting hand. All right, well, who are we kidding, guys? It's a Loki deck, but we should be okay. And Titan also being pretty clutch for the deck we are playing. We're going to go Sunspot in the middle and have that most likely as our Pro X location. And Nerdy is maybe not playing Loki. Maybe they're playing the Sarah Sarah Shadow deck that we posted yesterday. And look at that. You got to love when someone commits, right? They've got the avatar. They might as well play the card as well. Is there a variant that you have that makes you play a deck more because you have that variant? I'm curious. Because Cyclops in this, I'm telling you, it was like a leading factor into wanting to play this deck more. And again, I don't think I've climbed more with the deck, at least this season, than this one. It's just easy street. But okay, so he's taking a card. We don't know what it is. He obviously feels pretty good about it. Makes me think it's probably the Cyclops. And he's already snapping. So, I mean, we've got ourselves Goliath. We've got Doom and Hulk. We can play them all. I can float a bunch there. I feel pretty good about this. You know, I don't know what he's going to do to really hurt us. He plays Loki, meaning he does obviously get some of our cards. But again, we can play those cards discounted as well. So I'm not too worried about it. Now, Hulk is a little dangerous to play now. Because if he does Goliath, it could be pretty bad news. And I don't hate this play here. Let's see. I think we're going to go Dr. Doom. And we need to play probably left side. Because if he plays Goliath, we need to try to avoid that. and we need priority most likely. So we're going to go Doom left side and just hope he does an Alioth and totally just guess the lane that we're playing in. Maybe he goes Dr. Doom himself, and in that regard, he most likely is going to have us beat on priority. But if we have priority, man, we got Cosmo, we've got the Hulk here, Pro X, Alioth. Typically, I would Pro X here, but because they have our cards, we got to be a bit more careful. Man, I don't know if I would have done that if I were him, because now he's going to fill out in that middle lane. But he does get to keep priority for what it's worth. So he could just Alioth here, right? Just smack down the Alioth. But this just wins it for me, yeah? I mean, it's not that complicated.
Oh, snap.
Even if he floated all the way, he can't win this. So this was a cleaned up. He needs to get out of here. He might let his greed get the best of him and play Alioth left side. Nope. Just smacking down the giant Hulk. Well, good stuff, man. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love the 8-cuber.
Victory.
This deck can lose to Loki. You just gotta watch out for Pro X early. That's a big thing, right? A sneaky Jeff that they may have stolen from you. And then Alioth is the main thing. But the other cards you give them, they can't really use, right? The big giant Hulk, they don't have access to Cyclops. So your best bet is to lock them down because they need the space to play those cards either way. Nerdy's going to stick in here, which is surprising. And he's going to have a long sledge of chunking off cubes from us to win. He probably has a better chance to fill out the raft than we do. Although that definitely helps us. And honestly, this is so close to being great, right? I think he's going to be able to fill it up first. We might as well try to fill it up ourselves. And if he does it, then we can just have our Cyclops pop off. All right, fantastic. We lost Jeff and Cyclops there. I think we want to go... We'll play wave mid. This is where I think I should retreat here. Like, God honest truth, obviously, he's got kind of the advantage. We're just going to stick it out because why not? And my guess is he's probably just going to Loki here. And even if we destroy it, it doesn't do all that much. There we go. Call that out. All right, let's kill that card. So at least we have a little bit of an advantage here. And we also have our Hulk. So we can just continue to win or, you know, attempt to win this lane. If we played this, we had 12 now. I mean, he's probably just going to play another Alioth, right? Okay. And then we got Pro X. So, yeah, we're going to lose this. Because he could play anything right here. I mean, we could try to win it, but I don't think we can. I mean, we could just try to go bigger than he does, but yeah, I don't think that's possible. We'll go and play Hulk over there, and yep, he's gonna take the W.
Aid my
Again,
hand.
don't be me. Don't do it for the content on this particular play. Whenever he killed me with that Alioth on Project Pegasus, that's kind of your sign to get out, right? Don't lose the 2, lose the 1. But with us getting an 8 cube clean, it's, you know, why not try to show more games play out and go with that play. All right, now we're going to go ahead and fast forward through this next game. However, the one thing you can take away from the sped up clip here is on this left side. I played Professor X in a lane that probably looking back, I could have played him in a better lane and then maybe had a chance to get the Alioth win. It was going to be tough either way, but this is going to show a little bit of why that lockdown lane is what you need to win first, and then you can, you know, win the other lane with one of those win conditions as we talked about in the intro. But with that, we're going to go ahead and go to the next round. The Snow Guard release coinciding with Loki is so damn good. All right, let's double Nebula. We can play Wave to really jack him up. Double Jeff's also nice. I think we might even snap into this. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and snap into this. Why not? We can do double Goliath. We can also do Pro X. He might Snowhawk here, and then we only get one Jeff. Not the end of the world. Okay, he takes our Wave or Cyclops, which the Cyclops pull from Mirage is actually huge because I think he gets to keep that ability. And he pulled something with Cable. That was a hell of a play. Double Cyclops is still probably the move. I mean, this is nice, and then I could just Goliath on 5 or 4, but no, we'll do double Cyclops. If he took our Pro X, I'm gonna be sad. Okay, he takes our Wave. Is this where we're Goliath gamers? Or do we just double Lockdown right now? Let's just double Lockdown. Do we have 2 Cyclops, 2 Nebulas? I don't really care what he plays here, man. If he plays our Hulk, or he doesn't even have our Hulk because he didn't play Loki yet. So I think this should be enough. Cool. All right. I think we won, guys. We're going to tie this in the middle here, and then we just have to win. We have to just win this. And we have Nebula on this side. He could still technically win over here. But yeah, we're just going to play this, and then we're going to play Goliath and bada bing, bada boom. Pro X doing his thing, man. Selector. Olsen.
All systems go.
Nice. Let's go, guys. It took us a couple matches to seal the deal, but we got it done. And just like that, we got our next battle taken care of when we go into battle number 3. I've done enough with this deck to feel pretty confident with it. You know, when I'm doing bad with Loki, I play this deck. When I'm doing bad with this deck, I go to Loki. In my opinion, these are the best 2 decks probably at the moment, outside of like getting cheapish wins with Galactus. We'll give this guy a fist bump. But this is like Loki.
Victory.
Don't get me wrong. Loki actually takes some thinking power. You get the collector and stuff, but you have to use their cards against them and guess what deck they're playing. If you want more of like a straightforward approach, this, in my opinion, is probably going to be it, like I alluded to in the intro. We take out Fixture Perfect, and we're on to battle number 3. Hopefully, we don't get a Loki deck. I feel like I might switch to ladder play for these videos. I loved the arc of Gold Conquest and showing 3 consecutive battles, win to retreat. I think it helps show how to pilot a deck a bit better. There's pros and cons, right? You can show when to retreat, but then on the other side of things, you don't get as much of a variance in play, especially if we go against like all Loki decks, right? All right, cool. Starting hand, Jeff, Cosmo, Goliath, Cyclops. And Kitty Pryde, which doesn't tell us a lot, but God forbid it's another Loki deck. Shuri's Lab, obviously stupid good. Stupid good with Kitty Pryde. Definitely a battle that I should leave, but we can maybe get a Pro X here, or maybe a Goliath. I mean, this Kitty Pryde's gonna be 1,000,000 points. And then a Hala. Well, the good news is he can't play the Kitty Pryde left side, so we can just win that lane. And then we just need to win like one other one, right? So, I don't hate it. In fact, I think if we just go all in the mid and then play Goliath last turn, I kind of like that idea. Look at that. He's got a 14 power Kitty already. That's so stupid, man. That's absolutely wild. Just the best location for that card. I don't hate the Cosmo here, just to get a little something. Okay. That's going to be a 22 power Jeff. Alrighty, gang. I'm thinking we're going to lose this one. Good God, he's got a 21 power movable card. That can go into my Pro X lane. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? Yeah, guys, thinking this may be one that we take the L on. Not positive, but it's looking that way. Like, even if I go over there, I can't do anything. I suppose we do this, man, and hopefully just plays double mid again. All right, well, at least we know where he's going to go. All right, so it's 1 billion power. Oh, man. We're close. Like, this could beat that lane, but we're not going to be able to beat whatever he's about to play. Like, he's just going to play Kitty and one other card. So, like, we could guess that we could beat that Kitty Pride or whatever this is, but we're not going to be able to. Yeah, we got to get out of here, man. Dude, he's got like no billion power with that. The movable 22 def was not on my bingo card. And listen, I should have just left. Should have just left, but we had to see that out. I liked potentially getting a Pro X, but... And we also don't really know... I mean, we know what he's playing, but not to the fullest degree. We haven't seen all of his deck, right? All right, we'll get Nebula out there. If he gets Kitty Pride on turn 1, it's going to be rough for the Nebula because she won't gain a lot of power. Okay, well, that's good news, I guess. Okay, I like that. And we got the Pro X, and we have the Hulk. So we have our win conditions. We've got what we need. If we get, like, a Goliath, then we'll go ahead and start cooking. All right, so he's got the he's going to be playing the Taskmaster deck. We lost High Evo. That's just fine. He lost Hulkbuster, and we got our Goliath. We're getting close to potentially snapping. Let's see what else he plays. Okay. The waving here is like not my favorite play because we would probably want a Pro X here typically in the mid next turn and then just win the other lane. So let's see what we got. Okay. So we play, guess where he is going to... Oh wait, dude, this is probably going to be a pretty easy win. I would imagine. I would imagine we can just do this, right? The thing is, though, I'm going to go here because I want the priority. He doesn't know we have a Goliath. We have that going for us. And worst case scenario, we could put 6 to the right side. If he puts more than 6 on Sokovia, then that could be trouble. But he's got to play something left side. So he could go like, I don't know, a cheap Kitty Pride double up. He might retreat here, though. This guy seems like a smart lad. Oh, he does go. He doesn't even play. Wow. Woof. I just got rocked there. Okay. All right. Good on you. Good on you. So... Dude, this guy played great. He can't even be mad about playing a good player. Can't even be mad about it. So this is 5. That'll be putting 15 there. This is kind of sexy. I don't think he gives up on this. This would make this 8 in the middle, but he can just Taskmaster that too. And then we would win that, but lose that. All right. Good on him. Again, he hasn't seen our Goliath yet.
Escape.
So we'll take 4 cubes off the top here. We'll take 4 cube loss and see if we can make it up in the back end. But my God, I thought I had that one. Probably should have gone with the lane I was building up. I just was convinced he was going to play left side. We wanted priority to ensure that we could just do the Goliath play. In my head, that made a lot of sense. But, you know, you can't win them all. All right, armor goes down. We now know we're playing a Shuri deck. We don't have anything to counter the deck on us. Like, we don't have a Shang-Chi, anything like that. He's snapping to start. I think... Again, don't love my starting hand here, but we'll go through with it. Not too mad that I lost the Cosmo. All right, definitely don't mind getting the draw. That helped out our terrible beginning hand. Let's go Jeff down, probably Cyclops, same lane. And then see if we can pull Wave or Storm. If we get Sunspot or Nebula, I'm not crazy about that, but we'll see if we can win with what we got. Okay. He's got Jeff, so that's not that big of a deal. This, however, is pretty nice because we close him down on this location. We can move Jeff. He's probably just going to play. This goes into turn 4. We'll snap into this, man. We got to be risky because he can't play his Red Skull. We can move our Jeff. We should have priority. This is probably Kitty and Hulkbuster. Maybe Jeff and Kitty Pride. Okay. Not going to move our Jeff yet because he can move his. And we'll just throw down our Cyclops here. We did get our Pro X too. So we could Pro X left side and just end the game if that is the best option for us. Okay, so he's going to Hulkbuster that to ensure that he can win Sanctum. Pretty smart play. We'll go just High Evo. I don't even think we want to play Nebula here. He plays the Kitty Pride. He still doesn't know we have Eliath. However, he could just win flat out here. Because if we move this, we only have 6 there. He moves the Jeff, he wins mid. If he moves to the right here, we're in trouble. He has a Cosmo, but he lost, I believe he lost his armor from Sokovia. So this is our best play. We could also tie his Jeff, but then he just plays Kitty and beats us in overall power. Right? So that I don't like that either. Our Hulk is kind of nice. I think this is the play right here. There we go. All right. There's the surprise Eliath. We capitalized on it massively, and we got the 6 cube
Victory.
win made up for our double 4s. Let's go ahead and try to seal off the last 4 here. This is going to be a tough game to win. We need to make sure we lock down a location, get the priority, kill his Shuri play. Yo, what? He gives up on the last battle. What is this? This guy rocked my tail 2 games in a row, loses 1, and calls it. I think he realized, I guess the only thing I can think of, which I would never do this. You never know the locations you get. That's crazy to me. But I guess he thought to himself that I could just kill his best play with Eliath. But dude, that's absolutely wild. He won with Shuri's Lab to be fair. But on the last effing match in Gold Conquest, guy must have a busy guy must just have a busy day. But anyway, well, we got an Infinity ticket with a less than climatic battle 3, although we did show to persevere through, 2, really 4 cubes of losing. But yeah, guys, I think High Evo right now, if you got him back in June, which a lot of people did, go back and give it another shot. Again, that flex spot's very important. You're going to lose games by not flexing the right card. So you need to just see what decks you're running into the most. Cosmo's good against Galactus. Luke Cage is good against now Shadow King that can shut down your Sunspot Nebula. And then obviously there's plenty of cards that could go there. Shang-Chi, even Leech. You got to just play what feels right to you. If you don't have Eliath, you definitely just go with the Doom Wave option and play more tech cards. But either way, really enjoying Evo Lockdown at the moment, especially now that we have Eliath. It's even better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. We got back-to-back deck guides, and we've got some really cool videos coming out later next week. If you don't want to miss those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And the bell, I don't think I've ever asked for that, but if you want to hit the bell, cool. I mean, I don't really care, but hit the bell if you want to get notified for my videos. Anyway, guys, good luck until the next video. Happy snapping.